welcome to the channel. So today we're doing something I'm not super looking forward to doing, since we're going to be underneath a car propped up on jack stands. Just not my favorite thing, but you got to do what you got to do. So I figure that we just kind of knock out two birds with one stone here. So do a transmission fluid change, and then we're going to do an oil change. So the oil change, pretty bog standard. So if you, I think from the factory, Ford recommends a 5W20 oil, but if you're on a Whipple themselves, they recommend a 5W50. So we're just gonna be doing 5W50. Now, something to note for my 2025 Mustang guys that have 2025 model years, you guys should take a look at your owner's manual, because you actually only take 9.5 ounces of oil. This is different from the Gen 3s, all the Gen 3s, and I think even some of the 24 models also took 10 quarts of oil. Now, they switched the oil pan. I think maybe they went plastic to metal or something. But if you have a 25, you should check your owner's manual, because more than likely you only take 9.5 quarts rather than the typical 10. Again, like I said, all the Gen 3s were. So that's the oil change. Now with the transmission fluid change, I have an MT82 D4. And for all my MT82 guys out there, one complaint that we generally have is there's a kind of a catching feel. Now, if you haven't really driven an MT82, it's probably hard to describe, but if you have, you probably know what I'm talking about. But when you're going through gears, there's almost like a click or a catch that comes in when you're going through a gate. So I'll show you guys the fluid that we're going to be using. It's the AMSOIL BC Synchro Fluid Max or whatever. This is supposed to help alleviate that a bit. I guess we'll see. I figured, might as well get out the Ford transmission fluid and put in something that people recommend is generally better. Now, when the MT82 first came out for the Gen 1 Coyotes, there was actually like an issue with the fluid that Ford used. I think there was like an additive that they put in that shouldn't have been in the fluid, and this kind of drew out a lot of problems with the MT82. Since then, especially on modern Mustangs, most of the Gen 2s, the Gen 3s, and Gen 4 Coyotes, all those that have an MT82 attached to them, they never really have any issues with the fluid. The Ford fluid actually is perfectly fine, but there are some fluids that should be a little bit better, so we're gonna give that a try. So let's get to it. Again, not looking forward to being underneath the car on jack stands, but like I said, you gotta do what you gotta do. Let me get the car jacked up. We're gonna do the transmission fluid change first, and then I'll show you guys what fluid we're putting in, and I guess kind of a quick how-to video. So let's get to it. All right guys, here's our transmission fluid that we're using. So it's the BG Synchro Shift 2, and then there's this MGC additive that BG makes. I figured I might as well get it. It's probably not all that necessary, but you change transmission fluid so rarely. Figured might as well just throw it in. Not super expensive. So this is the feeding tube that's actually going to go into the fill hole for the transmission, and you simply just pump it, so it should be pretty easy. But let's do, not my favorite part, get underneath the car and then try to crack open the drain valve and the fill valve. Okay, so right here is drain, right here is fill. Okay, cats are no longer hot, so it takes an 8mm, hopefully you guys can see this okay. It takes an 8mm Allen key, and a trick to get more leverage on it is use a 8mm socket with an extension, and then I have a handle, so this should just give us some more torque. But let's give this a try. Oh, so we got our AC leaking on us. That's okay. Got it. Got it. So let's just loosen it up first. And then let's loosen our fill. I'm sorry, our drain. Oh God. I'm trying to figure out how to do this without destroying my fingers. All right, we loosened it up. Perfect. Get our pan to drain this stuff in. We have a GoPro strapped to my head, guys, so hopefully you guys can see the stuff all right. Let's see if I can. Yep. So pulling out the fill plug. This one probably will leak a little bit, but Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wait, because there's a wire right here. So I'm gonna try to get all of this out, and then I'll pull the actual fill, but it's cracked open, so. Here's our drain. Watch me get transmission fluid all over my fingers. Ooh, definitely missed that one. That's all right. All over my hand. That's okay. Now I'm going to pull our fill valve. All right, we'll give that a chance to drain a bit. I'm going to put our fill valve in the bag, and then our drain plug. Sorry I'm talking so weird, guys. Okay, now, while we let that drain, what I'm gonna have to do is take, or at least undo some of the skid plates so we can get to the oil filter. So let me do that now. What this takes is just a 7mm. Oh, you know what? And we need a clip removal tool for this one. Yeah, we need our trim removal tool. We got our trim removal tool and a pair of pliers, so this should work nicely. Oh, we'll just try this. There we go. Now I think we can just pull this down. And yeah, there's our oil filter. Okay. Oh man, I feel like that's gonna be so hard to get off. All right, well, let's see what we can do. All right, guys, well, let's try cracking this oil filter. All right, there's a decent crack. Oh, we got it, okay. All right, we cracked it open. Easy. All right, so we'll just leave that cracked. And then let's do the oil drain plug. So that, I believe, is just a 15mm socket, which I have right here. All right. Bring this over here. Let's crack this open. Ah, we got it. Got to loosen, but lost our socket. All right, guys, let's see if we can do this without getting oil on our finger. Nope, not yet. Direct. Ooh, pretty good. Not too bad. Okay, so we'll just wait for that to drain. All right, guys, so far, so good. It's actually been pretty smooth. Got the transmission fluid fill plug and the drain plug off relatively easily. Got the engine oil filter off easily. Got the engine oil drain plug off easily. So, yeah, not too bad. So we'll let that finish draining. We'll swap our engine oil filter, put the oil filter back on, put the drain plug back on. We'll put the drain plug for the transmission fluid back on. And then what I think I'm gonna do, so obviously with the engine oil, I can just have the car off its jack stands and we can just fill up engine oil that way. But with the transmission fluid, because we have to pump it, I think the best way, at least what's recommended, is have the car level as I can. So I think I'm actually gonna bring the jacks and the jack stands down a little bit just to get the car level, and then we'll pump it, put the fill plug back on, take it off the jack stands completely, and then fill the engine with oil, and I think we should. All right, guys, so last step for I guess the last step to do for the engine oil is we're just going to take the filter off, and I think we're going to try the bag method. We'll see how that works. Where you just, ooh, yep, we got some engine oil. Don't think I did a very good job capturing it, but that's all right. All right, well, that did not go as well as planned, but that's okay though. We got the filter off. I feel kind of bad though. I kind of made a mess in my parking garage. It is what it is though. And a mess. I'm so sorry, View Greenville Apartments. So, all right, team. Let's get the new engine oil filter back on. Get the drain plug back on, and then we'll redo the bolts on the skid plate, and then we'll drop the car so it's level, and we'll do the transmission stuff. So let's get this stuff on. Try to do this without getting oil on myself, but it might be tough. Oh, I still got my bag there. One thing you want to do is get a little bit of oil on the filter O-ring, like that, just to lubricate it a bit. That should be all good. There we go. Okay, skid plate's all done. So now let's do the oil drain plug. All right, sweet, got that back on, that's nice and tight. So now what we'll do is let's get our transmission fluid drain plug back on. Can thread it correctly. There we go.
that's nice and tight. Okay, now what I'm just gonna do, guys, I'm just gonna get this lowered so this car is more level. All right, guys, apologies for being out of breath, but I think we got the car nice and level, so we can begin filling up the transmission fluid. So I want to get this additive in here, but I don't think there's enough room in a full bottle. So let's try to pump some of this extra stuff out, and then we can dump this additive in here, and we should be good to fill it up. So this is perfectly good fluid. See if we can do this without a funnel. Perfect. And then, well, I guess what I'll do is I'll just give this a shake. So this is definitely going to be more than enough transmission fluid, so we should be good, but if we need more, we'll just add what we have in that cup. Back in. Okay, and one thing I did read online is that it's easiest to get the transmission fluid in if you have the car in 6th gear. So let's put it in that. Perfect. All right, we definitely have a limited space underneath the car now that it's level, but I think we'll be fine. This is the last part anyway, so should be easy. It's gonna be really fucking hard to get to. This is not going to be super easy, but let's prepare for everything that we are going to need to do. Just do that. Okay. Fill plug is back in, and that concludes our transmission fluid change. All right, guys, we got the car back on all 4 wheels. God, I'm exhausted. Car's back on all 4 wheels, ready to fill up the oil now. So the easiest part, and again, these 2025s, they take 9.5 quarts of oil. So there is one. A little bit more. I think that put a dab more in. Should be good. Okay, and then all you guys, so all you Gen 3 Coyote owners may know this Liqui Moly Ceratec. This is the one proven solution that gets rid of just that Gen 3 engine tick. That tick is not bad. It's just I think it's either the lifters or the phasers, but it's never been known to be harmful or anything. But if it annoys you like it annoys me, we're gonna give this a try, and this should eliminate that. And just like that, that should be everything we need. Alright guys, so I'm gonna put this, yeah, we can pull this. Put this cap back on. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we should be good. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna start the car, pull it back over there just so it's on a level space again, and then let it run for a minute or two, and then we'll check the oil level. Should be all good, but let's do that right now. Check engine oil level now. You all right? Looking good. Oh, let me redo that. I feel like
All right guys, I appreciate you staying here to the end of the video. I got quite a mess to clean up, but that concludes it for a transmission fluid change on the MT82 and a oil change on a 2025 Gen 4 Coyote. So again, appreciate you guys. Don't worry about liking, comment, or subscribing. My usual stick. If you guys feel like you're getting the value from my videos and from my content, go ahead and do it. But if not, don't worry about it. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna take a ride for this car, and I'll have a video for you guys soon. Just seeing if we notice any change with the MT82 with its gear catching. So hopefully that's been resolved a little bit. I need to go take a shower and wash my hair because I have oil everywhere. But again, thanks guys, and catch you in the next one. Take care.